I imagine it's creating a pretty exciting classroom experience. I'm thinking about like when I was in high school and we used to make student films. We just had our little camcorders and we just went out in the backyard
Yep.
and filmed something. This is a little more advanced than that, it sounds like, between all the different technology that you're bringing in. Can you tell us what a typical day looks like in a virtual filmmaking classroom? And I know you might say, well, there is no such thing as a typical day. But like, what were the kids doing last week?
Well, okay. So again, we've spent most of this year, when we first decided that we're going to start delving into virtual production was about a year and a half ago. And that point, actually, Josh, the film instructor, came in and said, hey, he was brand new. He said, hey, I want to start, or what do you think about virtual production? I didn't know what it was at all. I'd never heard of it.
Yeah.
And we had been teaching virtual reality development through, at the time, Unity. So kids were building VR environments, coding with Unity. And so we were into the virtual realm aspect. We had students creating virtual art and all this kind of cool stuff and creating apps, but we weren't doing anything with film. So we kind of played catch up. So over the past year, what we've done is the IT department has gone and researched tools to enable virtual production to happen at Tampa Prep. So we've just started handing off the what we've learned in the process to the virtual production students. They're in the third year of film, so we haven't opened up virtual production to every single student yet. They've got to go through 2 other years of filmmaking before they take virtual production classes. At this point, we're actually officially starting this fall. We've started dabbling in it with a small group of 3 students right now, and they're learning the tools. So we don't really have completely fleshed out exactly what it's going to look like. I will say that they're working on a project that will combine Unreal Engine, motion capture with a motion capture suit that we have. Actually, we have 2 motion capture suits.
Oh wow, with
And
like the little balls on the
yeah, sensors, yeah.
Wow.
And that, and we have an HTC Vive Mars, which is that enables you to take your physical camera and track that in the Unreal Engine's 3D space. So that enables you to make, let's say you're making a cave video, as you move the physical camera forward, it moves the background forward.
So
That's what makes
a
it
real camera is moving around in a virtual space.
Yeah, because the
Incredible.
the real camera will be attached to a virtual camera in the virtual background, which that's what makes it come alive. It's not just like having a picture of a cave.
Sure.
It's flat. Now you got the depth and you can move through it and you get the parallax view and everything else. So we've done some pretty cool stuff. A lot of R&D. This has been the year of research and development. We've even done things like we bought $100 a treadmill on Amazon so that we can have, so if we want to have a student walking through a cave, they can walk on the treadmill and looks like they're walking through through the cave. So little kind of, we're doing it as a, let's say, we don't have all the resources that Hollywood would have, but we're doing our best. And what is exciting is just that the kids are coming up with great things. We did do a project this year with a cross-curricular initiative, which is we're very excited about. We love it when different departments work together on a project. So we had the art department with the IT department working on a project, and that was, we had two dance students. So they take dance, and they're dance students. They move very well. And we had them working with the IT department and the film students. And basically the dance students put on a Rococo motion capture suit and a Sony Mocopi, not a suit, but the same concept. They just have sensors you strap on. You don't have to wear the whole suit, right. But it's the same thing. It tracks your movement. So we had these students doing a dance, and they were then we scanned these 2 students. So the concept was we would have Billy Idol's, the 80s singer, Dancing with Myself. I know you're probably too young, but in the 80s there was a song called Dancing with Myself. So the background music was Dancing with Myself. We scanned the 2 dance studios students with something called In3D. It uses your iPhone or your iPad, and it can scan a human and make a 3D model of them. So we would scan the student, and then we would throw them into Unreal Engine, and then the motion capture suit that the real student would be manipulating themselves. So dancing with themselves. They're actually able to animate their virtual themselves. And we had them kind of dancing together, going through the environment. And then we would have the students recording that with that with the HTC Vive Mars. So a lot of technology was happening there. We had we had Unreal Engine, we had motion capture suits, we had 3D lidar scanning, with the 3D modeling. We had Blender. We had to tweak it a little bit with Blender. So the kids were learning lots of different concepts. That's what I think for next year is really going to take off, is that they're exposed to so many different technologies in virtual production, 3D modeling, motion capture, Unreal Engine, and then the whole film aspect as far as camera and lighting, et cetera. So it's a really cool project. It's exciting.